Time for another board game review, and this time we have the game Kodachi. This was sent to me by WizKids and is designed by A.B. West. Kodachi is a fast-paced, clever card game of hand management, push-your-luck daring, and tactical skill. Play your cards right and you will be the most renowned ninja in all of Japan. Let me show you how to play. Alright, so in Kodachi, there are two phases to a turn. You invade the house by playing cards from your hand to defeat guards, and then you take cards determined by the number of guards you defeat. At the end of your turn, you discard all played cards and any unwanted cards in your hand and fill your hand back to 6. So each player has a set of 12 starting cards. They shuffle them and they have their own personal deck. And each player draws 6 cards. At the start of your turn, when you invade the house, you draw the top card from the house deck and the top card from the guard deck. I have these backwards, doesn't really matter. Okay, so in this case, after seeing the first house card and guard card, you have to declare if you're going to invade by strength or stealth. Strength means you must play a dojo card that is higher value than the guard. For stealth, you must play a dojo card that is a lower value than the guard, and ties do not win. So, let's say for this first one here, this guard here, they have a strength and stealth value of 4. So in this case, it would be easier to beat them with stealth. So let's say I decide, okay, I'm going to go with stealth for this round. So you set that with the shuriken, and then you must play a card. So I'll go, okay, I'm going to play a 2. It's lower than the 4. And so I have beaten that first guard. In addition to dojo cards, you may play skill cards to help defeat the guard. For example, you got this guy here. He can be played as a 3, or he can be played as a plus or minus 1 to a value. So like, let's say I had a 4. 4s can't break the tie, but if I use this guy and add it on, or subtract it from it with stealth, I would have a 3, so I have a lower card, and I would beat him. So let's play out this turn. Okay. Every time you defeat a guard, you must decide if you want to stop or continue. If you stop, you can take cards from the display. If you want to continue, you declare you're moving forward and draw 1 card from both decks. So let's say I'm going to keep going. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I declare it. Aha. So I've drawn another 4. I have a card that's lower, so I play it. Let's say I go again. All right, I'm going to defeat another guard. Ooh, okay. In order to beat this card, I gotta have a stealth of less than 1. I can still do it though, because I have a 1 and a -1. So I'll play that for my hand, and now I've beaten 3 guards. At this point, it'd be pretty foolish to keep going. I've got 2 4s in my hand. I don't think I'm gonna be able to continue with stealth, so that's where I'm gonna stop. However, if I had failed that, if the guard was just impossible for me to beat with the current mode I had chosen, my turn ends immediately, it fails, and your opponents get to take cards only, not you. But in this case, it was successful. So after defeating guards, you may take cards from the display. Guard cards, these are free, while house cards are bought with treasure. If your invasion failed, you can't take any cards. The number of cards you can take depends on the number of guard cards you defeated. So, I beat 3 guards, so I can take up to 2 cards. If you beat 4, you can take up to 3, and so on. There are also elite guard cards. These ones are more difficult than other guards. Like this one is, 0 stealth and 3 strength, which 0 stealth is very hard to beat. These are randomly distributed throughout the guard deck. So let's say I decide, okay, I'm going to take this card for free. And whenever you take guard cards, they're just free treasure cards. So because I beat 3 guard cards, I can take up to 2 cards. What I could do, I could take 2 guards and keep them as treasures. These are the symbols up here. Or I could take this guard as a treasure, and then I could immediately discard it and take one of these cards. So that would be my second card for the turn. So if I took this card, spent it, then I could take either this card, which gives me a plus minus 1 skill, also lets me draw a card. This guy lets me play this as a 0 and draw a card. They're also worth points at the end of the game. I could also, if I wanted, just take these guys, put them in front of me, and keep them as treasure and use them on a future turn. I don't have to use them on that same turn. But regardless, whatever I choose, the most cards I can take is 2. So let's say I take this card and I trade it in, and I take this treasure card. Or not treasure card, but house card. And what's special about this game is that house cards you buy go directly into your hand as soon as you buy them. After you have finished taking cards, every other player has the chance to take 1 card. So your opponent could go, okay, well, I'll take this card. Another opponent could go, I've got 2 treasures. Okay, I'll spend them. I'll take this card. And everyone gets a chance to take a card. Once you and everyone else has taken their cards, you discard the rest of the cards. And then you discard all your played cards to your discard pile. Then you just draw and fill your hand up to 6 cards. You may also discard any cards that you still have in your hand if you don't want to play them. Then you just pass the shuriken to the next person, and they get a turn. Now that's how a turn works, but let's go into some of the special house cards you can get. As I mentioned before, you got these special skill cards, like this card can be played to just draw 3 cards immediately. You have rumor cards that are worth points at the end of the game, but this guy can also be played as a 5 dojo card. So it's pretty high if you're going to go, like, let's say, the strength route. Envoy cards are very special. This card can be played as a 3 dojo card, and if it is played, you get the top token from that envoy's clan, in this case, the blue clan. If you look over here, there are these 3 piles. And for these piles, if you play a blue envoy card, you get the top token, which is worth 2 points. The next one is worth 4, the next one is worth 5. The game ends when a player finishes their turn gaining their 4th token by playing an envoy, or gains the final token, meaning there are none of these tokens left. After that, you total up all your points on all your clan tokens, all of your cards in the top right, and each unspent treasure is worth 1 point. Whoever has the most points is the winner. If there's a tie, the player with the most envoys among the tied players wins. So that's pretty much the game. You choose if you want to go stealth or strength. Start revealing cards. If I went strength, okay, I'd have to beat this guy with a number higher than 2. If I kept going, I'd have to beat this guy higher than 5. And if I didn't have one higher than 5, I would bust. If I didn't, I would get to take cards as rewards, buy cards, add them to your deck, make your deck better, and get better cards, and some of these clan tokens. And that's the game.
So this one was pretty good. I can always appreciate like a push your luck mechanic, and I like that this one offers you the choice of strategy between, strength and stealth by looking at your cards, going, okay, do I got high numbers, low numbers, what should I do? It's still, obviously, a lot of it is very up to chance, but I like that the game tempts you to continue by letting you take more cards if you defeat more guards. The fact that cards go straight to your hand is actually a very nice touch that a lot of deck building games don't do. It makes you extra tempted to get those powerful cards, because then you can use them right away. That's actually pretty cool. You could argue that the game is too simple, or that the theming is pretty thin, and that it can be easy to steamroll if you get enough envoy cards. Once you get enough of those and start playing them, you get those clan tokens pretty quick. But since this is a quicker and simpler game, I think it works. It's always fun watching somebody bust. It's always fun making it big, throwing in some very light deck building on top of that. Push your luck mechanic is a nice touch. It's very simple. It can rely a lot on the luck of the cards, but for a small, push your luck, very light deck building game, I did actually enjoy this. I think it's worth checking out. Nice little filler game.